What is going on? How we doing? Welcome to live chat. Thanks, YouTube. Put that down, okay? Or I can't. It's just gonna sit there. Okay, so today it's Friday. I just wanted to let you guys know that I had a stomach virus this week from some food that I ingested on Sunday, and it was not the ideal time to be right before, obviously, Christmas, New Year's, and things like that. But I'm back at work. I had my first workout in a while, and I actually just came back in. I'm stoked, and the reason why is I don't have YouTube on my phone. I don't have Instagram on my phone. I don't have Facebook on my phone. I don't have a dating app on my phone. There is nothing in my apartment to distract me. So in other words, I'm able to actually go through life without actually being, number one, distracted, and number two is actually understanding where I feel about certain areas of my life. Okay? I was unhappy not going to the gym this week. I was very unhappy that I had to work from home this week. I couldn't control that I had a stomach virus. It was something that was in some salad that I had, and it's not that big. What's going on, Paul? How we doing? But listen to this quote that I heard. It's Dr. Jordan Peterson and this guy Sir Roger Scruton. And I just got done with my Whole Foods oatmeal. What's going on? What's going on? Listen to this quote. And this sums up exactly why I just feel I'm different, okay? I don't walk through life looking to either get offended. I don't walk through life thinking that I want to see something negative happen. I don't walk through life thinking other people are taking things from me. In other words, business. Ryan Serhant has $1 billion worth of business in real estate. Frederick Eklund, $1 billion worth of real estate. And by the way, there's other top agents that have hundreds of millions of dollars of business every single year. This is the thing. I don't look around and say, they're taking something from me. And it's so hard to put that into words because not a lot of people actually feel this way. And when you get to the point, I'm 33, it's taken me a while, a lot of meditating on this. When you get to that point, I swear to God, it is not easy to find other people. That's honestly, this is probably my only outlet. This is actually my only outlet. I have my friends that I go out and, I chase girls with. I have my friends that I go to the gym with. I have my friends that I talk sports with. They don't really cross-reference, okay? The guys that I go to the gym with, most of them are married and or in relationships or older. The guys that I chase girls with, they, don't really go to the same gym with me and they don't really watch sports and blah, blah, blah. But listen to this quote. We're not around, and this is by Sir Roger Scruton. I'm totally butchering his name, sorry. 34 in July. I had to think about that. You know what's funny is I just ran into my brother's friend. He's 41. He just turned 41. Full head of hair, young as hell. He's not married with no kids. So obviously, married with kids kind of gives you that stress. But the guy looks fantastic. And, there's another guy in the fitness industry that I'm like, listen, fitness is everything. You get your body right and you get your mind right. Your mind is actually more important than your body because that will decrease after a while. Okay, so listen to this quote. We're not around on this earth very long. Fact, okay? We're not around on this earth very long. We have an obligation to find the things we love and not the things we reject. The best way to find the things that we love are look at what others have loved before us. That's what culture is. The residue of everything they thought was worthwhile to preserve. Let me say that again. We're not around on this earth very long. We have an obligation to find the things that we love and not the things that we reject. And the best way to find the things that we love is to look at what others have loved before us. That is what culture is. The residue of everything they thought was worthwhile to preserve. Art, statues, music, clothing, mentality, books. Why is Plato and Aristotle, just people before us. There's so much now. Like, I need to know something now that's happening that it's like, dude, they figured it out a while ago, okay? And nothing about the, religions, but if you look at Buddhism or you look at the Bible, and I'm not talking about the ideology and marriage and, church and things like that, but if you seriously look at the Bible, they kind of got, a couple of those commandments right. You probably shouldn't kill anyone. You probably shouldn't cheat on your wife. Shouldn't cover, there's some things that they got right. And it has nothing to do with religion. This has everything to do with, look at what people before us, because we're going to reject things in the future that we accept right now. So why don't we look at the things that have been accepted for thousands of years that we are currently seeking either other opportunities? That's the thing. Our cell phone is not going to fulfill us. How do you find a career which we can find love immortally? So this is something that I truly am going to be, I'm going to write every single day. And I've been saying that for a while. Obviously this week was a little bit different. But this is the thing, is that number one is it's earned. I've come to the conclusion that everything is earned. You earn love from your spouse. She or he does not give it to you. You earn your love or your passion from your career or your calling, whether that's volunteerism, whether that's 9 to 5, whether that's whatever, but you earn it. Okay, donating money is great, but if you actually lay a brick for that school in wherever your alma mater, that you've earned that, because you've earned the money or the time to actually go do that. You've earned the love from your spouse because they are not fulfilling you. I feel everything is earned, and then when you earn it, you appreciate it. Because if people give you all this admiration and then it goes away, you're actually relying on that admiration, okay? There's a great video that I was watching. This guy said he was changing high schools in obviously high school, and he was a total loser in one of the high schools. And then he went to this new high school, and he was a total stud because he started over the summer between one high school to the other high school. He practiced basketball every single day because he was a loser, he had no friends, and all he did was work on basketball. First game at the new high school, he didn't know anyone, but he was playing basketball, and he had the game-winning shot at the first. And he said at the first game, and everyone knew him right after that. Teachers, girls, guys, and then he became popular. And then what he said he noticed is that it all faded, okay? Number one is there's nothing that's permanent, okay? I go to the gym every day because I know my body is not permanent, okay? I'm just renting this. Imagine having your high school car, filling it with shitty gasoline, kicking the door in, maybe smashing it around every once in a while. What do you think that's going to be like in 10 years, 15 years? Well, you're going to have to change the brakes, the shocks, the engine. Maybe you're going to have to change out a couple of the windows, the doors. Think of your body like a rental car. You're just renting this shit, okay? And if you really want to go deeper, just listen to Michael A. Singer in both of his books, The Untethered Soul. You are not the person, you are the person that is witnessing what's going on, okay? You think you're the identity of the athlete, the friend, the spouse, the manager, the CEO, but then what about in a year when you get fired or you get divorced or you break up with them or you look back, are you now someone else's spouse? Are you someone different? Or you're observing deeper what he meant on that. But the conclusion to this is the last thing I'll leave you with, because I can see, it's approaching 10 minutes. The last thing I'm going to say about this is that the day-to-day things, if you could just remove yourself from that, the consumption of social media, the consumption of emails and text and news and social media, or even drama on TV or TV shows or TV series or, all that other bullshit, if you can just remove yourself just for a little bit, you will notice there is some deep thinking that actually give meaning to the nihilism that society wants you to go down. Nihilism essentially means that, fuck it, nothing matters, nothing means anything. Elon Musk has mastered this. He has mastered this. This guy knows. Look at his last interview. He says, they asked, his last question was, do you believe in God? And he thought about it, and he knows that there is no possible way that everything, and I'm not saying God or anything like that, okay? Because nobody knows. But if you think about it, there is no way two things could have happened. That something, going back to Newton, something was created out of nothing, okay? So we had nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen. I think hydrogen is the largest gas, prevalent gas in the universe, the known universe. And essentially that collided and gave us the laws of science and everything over billions of years, and then they created an atmosphere, and then through some incredible, we were a germ that then, because germs are asexual, then we became sexual. In other words, you needed two individuals, and then from there we crawled out of the waters that we were plankton and weeds in the water. It's just holy shit. And the second thing is, what created the space? What created the space for all of this to happen? So do you feel that you should maybe look now before you get older, business will grow? I'm not even worried about relationships. That's not even, for two reasons. Number one is I am so happy right now. I am so happy. My dad had me when he was 43, and I'm on a healthier path than him, and I just know where I'm going to be in 10 years. I just know the path to that greatness, as Lewis Howes has on his podcast. I just know that there's no time clock for me. Dude, I am getting wealthier, smarter. I am getting more disciplined. I am getting bolder, ballsier. I am so... Okay, so I'll break it down. Very controversial, is that the reason a lot of guys, and this is not everyone, because everyone's good. I had this conversation with a girl after gym one day. She's a very attractive girl. I got her number. She not denied me, but she just never wanted to hang out. So I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever, we'll just be friends. So I never understood it too, because she's not hanging out with anyone, but whatever. So I was talking to her after the gym, and she actually sort of brought that up, and I don't even know how we got on the topic, but we got on the topic of relationships because I just see so many unhappy girls right now. And the reason they're unhappy is because they were told that their happiness, again, going back to happiness, is through, it's even deeper than what I'm about to talk about, is that their happiness is through their career. But if we went billions of years fucking surviving in the wild, germs, disease, war, fighting, even within our own tribes. Go back 10,000 years ago when we discovered farming, when we discovered that we can actually house animals, okay? They fucking did something right, okay? We together, male and female, work together. Male and male work together. Female and female work together. And we're going to destroy or even change all of that. Go back even further. If you actually want to know, study evolutionary biology, which is essentially the genes that, listen, you want to go to nature versus nurture, you could make cases about both, okay? And then psychology, which is essentially the mating strategy. Why women prefer guys with facial hair or long hair or broad shoulders or that are taller or that can physically fight. Why do guys prefer women with light hair, with good complexion, with a good hip to ratio, with full breasts, with a round butt? And I'm not going sexual. I'm just saying why? Why? People say, well, that's over-sexualized. Okay, why are they over-sexualized? Well, that's what men like. Why do men like that? Okay, well, I don't know. We are only here for two things. And then we complicate it with civilization. We complicate it with civilization to the fact that we actually feel we know ourselves better than what society's telling us, okay? But if you go back and you say, evolutionarily, why do women wear makeup? Why do men not give a shit about makeup? Why do men really care about their careers? And why are they self-aware when they're out in the streets? And well, maybe for a lot of the time, that could have been an animal, another tribe. That could have been wars. That could have been a snake, okay? And we can't put ourselves in that position unless we actually study it. Because momentarily, yes, we understand it. But if you go back to the real why, everything will make sense. It will make sense why women want to here. Well, let's go deeper. There's 10 women and 1 male, okay? Men are more expendable than women. Why? Because men can take 9 women in 1 day and impregnate all of them, okay? But if there's 10 or 9 men and 1 woman, if there's 1 woman and 10 men, only 1 person can get impregnated, okay? So in other words, men are expendable, okay? Because it takes 9 months for a baby to get born, okay? Why does that matter? Because we are here to survive. Survival comes down to, can you provide? Do you have safety? Do you have security? So today that's money and career and status and fame. Okay, back in the day, it was actually, can you actually fight? Okay, can you actually battle the tribe? Are you a leader among the tribe? Then you're gonna get the most fertile woman. Why do you want the most fertile woman? Because you need your offspring to go a generation, okay? Then we started coming out with fashion and sports and currency and government, okay? And society and billboards and advertising and social media and cell phones, okay? There's a progression, okay? But if you really study back in the day and you really take these people like St. Augustine. St. Augustine was like, he was religious, but he went through an atheism stage or the doubting stage. And I'm not talking about God, but he started going, why are we here? They all asked that question. Why are we here? Because forever, we were an animal that didn't have a conscience. Okay, then we had the prefrontal lobe cortex, and then everything changed. Meaning came. Then we started talking about a bunch of things. How to love, because I hate it. Tomorrow's an examination. Give me some motivation. Listen, I'm not going to give you any motivation. This is the thing, is that I'll just go back to Elon Musk. Elon Musk knows all of us. He is a fucking genius walking around just a bunch of, in his mind, how do you not see what I see? And I'm at the lowest level of his totem pole in his thinking, and I'm even walking around. How are people not thinking, why are you looking at your phone? Why do you care so much about an email? Why do you give a shit about all these things that are happening to you? You're not gonna remember that in 6 months. Think about 8 months ago, that one time that you stayed in bed and snoozed your alarm. You thought it was probably the biggest deal. I had deals where I thought, oh my God, this is gonna ruin my career, okay? Everything is just filler. And the thing is, there's a portion of me that says there's a lot of smart people that want the masses to be dumbed down, which is smart, because if you have masses, if you have masses that have an uprising, just look throughout history, there's been massive clashes, okay, with government. Obviously, a small one happened in France. But imagine there was a coup and they take over the government. So it's actually smart that you have these that honestly, that's a portion of why Jordan Peterson said, welfare is actually good. It was supposed to be temporary, blah, blah, blah. Did you get through Plato, the Republic? I remember you were saying just starting it. I did not. And the reason being is that I started reading through this one. See, this is the thing, is I get on a kick, and right now it's relationships. And the reason it's relationships, because I was out on Wednesday, and there's this girl at the bar, very pretty girl. She had her reading glasses on. She's by the fire. She's got a wine glass. And I was out in Brooklyn. Girls aren't really they're not my type in Brooklyn. And she was sitting there with a book. No one was around her. Very pretty girl. Got her legs up, wine glass, like at a bar. It was like a loungy area, like kind of not an upscale, but, medium scale kind of bar. And to be honest, I was shocked. So I went over, Face shave, fat face shave. I don't know what that means. Well, I haven't been in the gym in three days, so thank my stomach virus, maybe the fat face. So I walked over. Hey, how's it going? What are you reading? We started talking about it. Blah blah blah. She wasn't my type, but you know what? The way that I actually approach a girl is, are we right for each other, rather than is she gonna like me? So I walked over. She said, no one's approached me all day. No one's approached me all night. How long have you been here? An hour and a half. Bar is packed. No one has approached this girl. So my whole mentality is, why are guys not approaching girls? And I have a multitude of reasons. And guys can push it on the outside, but there is no bold step that a lot of these men, they're father figures, things like that. Who's your favorite hero and why? There's really, we have to find ourselves first. I know there was the comment before on motivate you to study. Is that what I've noticed is that I can't, and no one will motivate you ever at any time. No one gives a shit about your success more than you do. At any time, don't think your parents, yourself, your job, your manager, your career, your wife, your spouse, society, social media will ever give you the fulfillment that you need. No, I had a stomach virus. That's why I didn't go to the gym. Goggins said, and by the way, stomach virus sucks. You feel like you're going to throw up and have diarrhea at the exact same time, but none of it ever happens. So it sucks. Talk about the David Goggins, redo that again. So this is what I have to say is that it's never going to be on the outside. It's never sustainable on the outside. Think of the new car you got, the new cell phone you got, and then you drop it once, and then you maybe get a ding in your car, or you wear your brand new jacket, or your brand new sneakers, and then there's a rip or there's a little dirt on it. You get that it's momentarily happiness or fulfillment, but sustained happiness is earned. It is earned. And I'm just going to leave you with this quote. Highly recommend you just really deep dive on smart people that are writing books and not news. And that's all I could say. Make it your mission to remove the things from your life, okay? We're not around on this earth very long. Fact. Only, 100, 125 years, 150 years out of 14.8 billion, okay? No one's gonna remember you. No one's gonna remember that you got cut off. Nobody gives a shit about your success. No one's gonna remember me unless you earn it, unless you're that person, okay? Stop finding it through social media. Stop finding it through something on the outside. Your clothing, your looks, everything. You're only renting it. We're not around on this earth very long. We have an obligation to find the things that we love and not the things we reject. The best way to find the things that we love is to look at what others have loved before us. That's what culture is. Look at what other people, the residue of everything they thought were worthwhile to preserve. In other words, whatever's preserved, books, meaning, thoughts, ideas, and they're still around. Why, that's all I could say. That's all I could say. Go out. You have to earn everything. Earn it. Earn your body, your mind, your meaning. Nihilism and this is the last thing on Elon Musk, because he's fascinating. He's fascinating to me. The guy he understands that there is no meaning to life. There is none. If Earth went away, it's not a big deal. The universe is still going to go on. It's not a big. If we wipe out all of America, it's going to be really bad. But in 100 years, they're going to be like, oh fuck, that was terrible. They're just going to rebuild. Look at Europe, World War II. Look at World Trade Center. We remember, but there's going to be a rebuilding. Okay, so everything, as they say in Landmark, is you've got to earn big enough for the type of women you want. Yeah, exactly. So Elon Musk has found a way through this one talk that I found on YouTube. He said, listen, they said, why are you building SpaceX? And he said, the reason being is I want to be among the stars. That's why. Wouldn't it be fun to be among the stars? That's his meaning. That's why he's doing it. He understands this doesn't mean anything. Jeff Bezos, Blue Origin, why are you doing it? He said, Amazon was built on the people that built the roads, that built the automobile, that built the internet, the computer. And Amazon is just taking advantage of that. I want to be the person that actually makes sustainable flight, vertical takeoff and landing, easier for other people in the future so someone else can take it further. Totally different. Don't take this the wrong way. What's a fatty? Don't go to the gym. All right, dude, just get the fuck off. If put that user in timeout. All right. Last thing I'm going to say with Chris, you just said something. Fuck, it was going to be really good too. But whatever. All right, go out. Why BPI? So my meaning is to actually make personal development cool. And then through personal development, I'm going to build out BPI. I like building things, so that's going to be my meaning is to make personal development cool, okay? And personal development, not in the woo-woo, jumping around Tony Robbins sense, because I'm never going to host those events, but it's going to be making personal development. I suck at relationships, so let me just find out how to actually have a good relationship. That's going to be cool, okay? The fitness industry, completely oversaturated with a bunch of knobs that don't know what they're talking about. I took a class and this girl was talking about, if your mouth isn't open, you're not working hard enough. And I'm thinking in my mind, she's never learned about breathing properly, okay? You should not be a mouth breather, okay? This was here before this. Okay, we had to breathe, and then the canal, this was always for eating, it was not connected, and then they connected it. Obviously, as we stood up, we started running further, and then we sweat, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then BPI is the way to actually make money, and then on top of that is, I just like building things. I always had SimCity, SimTower, Command and Conquer, all these things. Last thing, maybe you want to, yeah, that was it. So, obviously, you look at all these beautiful women. Why would a beautiful woman? Yeah. By the way, can you thumbs up this? Why would a beautiful woman want you? Or if you're a girl, if you're a woman, the problem is with a lot of these women and men is that they don't ask, why am I single? Why is no one returning my text messages? Why am I not finding the one? They're always looking to the outside. Well, men are jerks, or women are bitches. Okay, well, why is that? Okay, are you putting yourself out there? What, one woman in a week? That's why? You're concluding you talk to one woman, and then over that 1 week of that one woman, you're going to conclude all of that? How about you talk to 20 women? How about you make 20 phone calls before you start saying that clients or there's no business or it's a bad marketplace? And that's the thing is that, yeah, by the time I'm 40, I'm going to be a lot wealthier. I'm going to be a lot more popular, and I think I feel like I have an idea of what I would want to marry, which is someone that is in the health industry that probably teaches it, maybe an influencer, but actually understanding it, and not the person that looks good and takes fitness photos, okay? I don't like those people, okay? There's a ton of those in the industry. How about you actually work your ass off and take photos and videos of you actually doing that, okay? Not the person that's thin and then holds a 5-pound dumbbell and in a bikini or a sports bra and you have thousands of followers. So you're going after a totally different audience. You're not going after look at the audience difference between David Goggins and maybe Jordan Peterson. They're both incredible at what they do, but the difference is that they're doing it. Jordan Peterson is putting himself out there. I would say right now, the mindset is so easy. People are going to look back at this time and they, and the reason being is before I formulate this and put it public, I always do a lot of research. There's an exponential amount of girls that are teenagers that are committed suicide. I had a cousin that she's 10 and she's obsessed with her phone. I have another cousin that is, 11. He's obsessed with gaming. I was too, but not to the fact that it took over my life. And the problem is maybe the parents or whatever, I'm not going to get into how to parent or anything like that, but they will look back and they'll say, this is like the 50s of smoking, where it was cool, it was something we did, but now we now understand that it is extremely unhealthy, okay? I don't watch any movies. The last movie I saw was Wolf of Wall Street in the theaters. I think that was the last movie, and then before that, actually I did see the one. I like Leonardo DiCaprio, so I then saw The Reverend. Before you go, overall thoughts on Goggins' book. I didn't actually read it yet. Obviously, from his interviews, it seems like it's going to be a good book. I've ingested so much from him that, there is no motivational book. There is no book. I get a lot of, Charles, give me one book. I'm going on a vacation. Charles, I have a 12-hour business flight. What should I read? There is no one book. You have to discover through your own fruition. I think the best way is actually go on YouTube and essentially, yeah, okay, then there you go. Get David Goggins' new book. 12 Rules of Life, way too heavy for most people, so I don't recommend it. Maybe David Goggins is a good book. I haven't read it, so I can't recommend it. There is no, it depends. Look at your YouTube history, outside of all the bullshit of entertaining yourself. But look at your YouTube history. That's usually a sense of what you like, okay? And for me, evolutionary biology and psychology has just dominated because I want to know while I'm talking to a girl what her needs, wants, motivations, and also understand the dynamics between men and women, because I don't want to be that person that's in his 50s and 60s and you're just in a marriage to be in a marriage, okay? Well, we have kids, so we have to stay in the marriage, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway is actually a really good book as well. If you have problems with fear, I just reread it and it was fantastic. So hope you guys have an amazing day. A lot longer than I expected, but these are just my current thoughts right now. They're all over the place. I'm going to do individual blog posts. I want to get back to that because it's just a really good way for me to actually put it out onto paper and really think about it more, because these topics are a lot deeper than most people would ever consider. There's a lot of people that just put up Instagram posts and produce content for no fucking reason than to just produce content. There's people that consume content for no fucking reason but to consume content, okay? Don't be those people, okay? Don't be those people, okay? Have purpose in your day-to-day life, and it's earned, okay? So, yeah, today it was funny. So I took spin class today and got a really good sweat on. I actually, so much so that I have to have my gym bag open, air that out, my shirt. But actually, towards the end, I was like, oh, God, here comes the feeling. Because I actually had to leave hot athletic yoga on Monday because it just started acting up. And then I leave work at 3 p.m., blah, blah. I'm not going to get into it. But essentially, I self-diagnosed myself. And the reason I self-diagnosed myself is because if I went to a doctor, guess what he's going to prescribe? Something that's going to knock out. And so he would have prescribed me an antibiotic. An antibiotic is knocking out everything that's good and bad. It's essentially radiation when you have cancer, is that you knock out the bad and the good cells. That's why I don't know what the percentage is, but say a 50-50 chance, because when you knock out all the bad cells, you're also knocking out all the good cells. So your body's really starting from literally ground zero. It's the same thing when you take a lot of antibiotics. You're knocking out all the good and the bad, okay? So that's why I take probiotic. Probiotic eats all the bad shit in your stomach. And the last thing you guys already know is that Elvis, I actually want to look it up right after this, but they took open his stomach. They had 56 pounds of shit in his intestines. And I did wherever they put a thing in your butt, and when I was in Fiji and they shove water up your butt, and it was a very uncomfortable experience. I am not it's really tough. It was really tough for me to do. It took me about a half an hour to actually get the tube in there because my butt was like, no. But what essentially does is that it pumps water up into your intestines and it just cleans out everything. And then you could see the tube of the shit coming out of your body. And it's not shit, it's not fecal matter. Well, some of it is, but it's all the gook are over the years. So when you don't have natural food, that lines your intestines. That's why you have inflammation, okay? Yeah, it's too much information, but the thing is, if I didn't do it, I would have never known that you actually build up all this shit over the years, no pun intended, but it lines your intestines. And then when it lines your intestines, instead of it number one, it seeps out of your intestines, and then it starts going to the other organs, and then your other organs needs to protect themselves, so they start actually building up, and then you start getting this bloating. You start getting this tire around your waist. You ever see people, they're not fat, but they have this tire? That's inflammation. Okay, inflammation of the stomach, the intestines, of their, all their organs down there. And all the organs, all that inflammation is to protect themselves because they're having bad food. They're not having natural food. It can't process through your body. I'm telling you right now, you will have regular bowel movements when you eat properly. Okay? And it sounds disgusting, but it's the same thing when you go to the bathroom and you smell your urine, you're like, why does this smell? Well, go back to what you actually ate. Okay? Everything comes back to a why. Everything. Okay? How to stop negative thinking? Well, the first thing is you actually have to change your identity, which comes back to your changing your thoughts and how you talk to yourself. Obviously, Psycho-Cybernetics is a great book. Another book is How to Talk to Yourself, or What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Those are both incredible books. Very long in the actual explanation behind it. And then the last thing is Atomic Habits. So have an amazing day. Are you going to be elevated, more relaxed a few days going to? I need to absolutely dominate the next week at the gym. I am contemplating not going out tonight and tomorrow night just to go to the gym, and then just going 7 days a week into Christmas. So I'm disciplined going into next week to make sales calls the week after Christmas. Because I understand that when I'm at home, I'm not going to eat as good. I'm probably not going to go to the gym because, I'm going to be with my parents on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Christmas Eve, Christmas. I'm going to be with them after Christmas. So have an amazing day. Dude, find all of your shit, all of your why, all of your meaning on the outside, not the day-to-day bullshit of, whatever's going on in the government organization. Talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing weekend. Let me know if you have any questions.